story is when we went to Vietnam. And you know, Kale and Lane went to Vietnam with us. And so we went, our first meal, really meal, not the one at the hotel, but the one with the people of Vietnam. We went to a place that was called like a pavilion. We went to a park, and so we go to this park, we ride the bus, we go to the park, and we start walking back, and there's this, like, you know when we have the church picnic, and there's like picnic tables, and then there's that roof? Well, it was like that, except it had a different, it looked like, well, different. But it was like that, and there were tables and chairs and people, and there was a table that was spread out, and I went and just sat down, because I didn't know, they said just sit down. And so I sat down, and there were napkins, like fancy napkins, and there was a bowl in front of like where I was sitting, just like you have at your house, you know. Well, there was a bowl, and it was just a little bowl, and it looked really interesting, and of course it was empty, there was nothing in it. And then there were these little tiny bowls, like this, and they had things in them like a part of a lime, you know, lemon and lime, and oranges, something like that. They had a part of that in it, and it had some salt, and then the salt was like different. It was like cakey. And they said what you do is you take that lime and you squeeze it into that, and you can put it on your food. And so then they had these, and I don't know if you guys know what these are. Do you know what these are? They look like pencils, don't they? But they're chopsticks. They're called chopsticks. They didn't have any forks or anything. They just had chopsticks sitting there, just like that. That's what we were eating with. I didn't know how to hold these. I mean, I did know how to hold them. I've eaten with chopsticks for years, but the guy next to me, he was Vietnamese. He was from Vietnam. And I said, how do you hold these? Because I want to do it right. I'm in Vietnam. I want to do it right. And he said, how do you hold your fork? And I said, I just hold it. And he said, well, the main thing is, you can hold it however you want. You just got to get the food in your mouth. And I said, well, that's good to know. So we would eat the food with chopsticks. And they had these pans of stuff sitting out with this food, and it was cooking right in front of us. It had like a little fire on the table with food. And then they would just put the food in your bowl. They actually would put it in the bowl. You wouldn't do it, but I mean you could. But anyway, so they pass around the first plate, and I had my chopsticks and everything, and then you just dip it in your bowl. And they pass around the first thing, and it had like a fish eye. It was like food on a plate with it was a fish's head. You could see the head. And I look at the guy next to me, I said, what are we supposed to do with this? And he said, you're supposed to eat it. And I said, how? How do you eat? It's fish eye and face and everything. And he goes, well, you just dip some off. He goes, it's not one of my favorites. And I said, well, I don't think it's mine either. But I tried it. It was pretty good. And then they pass around the next plate, and it kind of looked like chicken and veggies. And I said, what's this? And he goes, it's crocodile. It's crocodile. I'd never eaten crocodile before. So I put a little bit in my bowl, and I tried, and it was pretty good. I have to say, it was pretty good. So then they pass around the next plate, and it was, well, I thought it was beef, It looked like barbecue beef, like meat. Well, you know what it was? It was wild boar. That's like a pig, wild boar. And so, well, I tried it, because you got to try everything. So I put a little bit in my bowl, and so I'm going along, and I'm eating, and I'm really hungry because I hadn't eaten in a while. So I was eating, and the guy next to me, he's eating really slow. And I thought, well, why is he eating slow? I said, why are you eating slow? He goes, watch. Pretty soon the lady comes around, she starts putting food in my bowl. She just puts it in there. I didn't ask for it, she just put it in there. I said, oh, I see. He said, if you don't eat very fast, then they won't keep filling your bowl. Then they pass around another plate. This plate, well, it was actually a bowl. It was like soup. It was chicken soup, and it had, like, the chicken's head was in the bowl. I mean, it didn't have any feathers on it. No feathers. So you had the chicken head, and then they had chicken feet in the bowl. I thought, took a little bit, put it in my bowl. I didn't take any chicken heads or chicken feet. I left those for someone else. So I'm eating it. It was pretty good, actually. It was pretty good. Then they passed around the last plate. You know what it was? It was green, and it looked like little triangles, and it was green, and it was kind of sticky. And I said, "What is that?" And the guy next to me, he said, "Eat it." I said, "Well, how are you supposed to eat it? It's green." He goes, "You peel it like, you know, like you're peeling a banana or something. You peel it." So I peeled it off, layer by layer, and then it's just the stuff that sticks to that green, and you just kind of eat it, you know. Anyway, it was really good. It's like a sticky rice and banana. It was cooked in a banana peel. It was like fried in this banana peel. I don't know how they did it, but it was in the banana peel. It was really good too. If you ever get a chance to eat anything like it, it's really good. It's like rice and honey, or rice and sugar, and vanilla and stuff like that. It was really good. So that's my story of our food and my first real meal in Vietnam.